Everybody. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 different layouts that I created, completely different sizes, different types, different styles, using our modern memory keeping kit. And that's to give you an idea of how versatile it is and all of the fun things that you can do as far as memory keeping with this kit. So let's dig in, and I'm going to show you 3 different layouts. I'm excited to share my layouts with you using the Modern Memory Keeping Kit. This month we've got some fun things, and I actually did 3 examples, so I had some fun this month. So if you do any kind of scrapbooking or memory keeping kit, or memory keeping or memory planning, the Modern Memory Keeping Kit is perfect for that. So I'm going to start with, I did a 12 by 12 layout. I used some white cardstock, and I had this photograph in mind when I started this because it fit the theme perfectly. The colors were perfect. I wanted to use this floral. I love this floral pattern. And it also fit perfectly with the foam words that were in here, because you can kind of make those work. If you pair them together, you can get a lot of different sayings. You can do a lot of different titles with those. But I also wanted to do the exercise of showing you how you can stretch a theme. So the theme of the collection is reading, but I'm capturing a picture of travel. So I wanted to show you that you can mesh. If you just kind of think outside the box a little bit, you can mesh a theme with a lot of different things. And that is what I did here. So one of the things I did, like I do a lot of times, is the ink spatter, and I did it in a direction like this. And if you look at the layout, I've got something up here. Your eye hits the spatter, it hits this, and then it comes down. And even the flow of the florals kind of bring your eye that way as well, because we're always trying to draw or direct the viewer's eye. So I started with the floral paper. Now, obviously, our memory keeping paper is not the width of a 12 by 12. But there's ways that you can hide those seams. There's things that you can do to make that work on a 12 by 12. So what I did is I cut it to the height that I wanted, and I believe the seam is right about here. Because it's a busier pattern, you don't see it very much, but I also covered it up with this pocket card, and then I kind of draw your eye away from that by the pieces of the pattern paper that I cut out. So what I did, that's another trick, if you have a pattern paper that is a floral or it has particular shapes, you can cut those out of the pattern paper and turn them into die cuts. And that is what I did with the floral pieces on here. So I took the little note card, I put that at an angle that covered up most of the seam, and so you really do not see where that seam is. Now, if you love our papers, I did want to mention, if you love our papers, you don't want to deal with trying to piece them together, or you like to use our papers as a whole background, we do offer our papers in a 12 by 12 format. You can purchase them as a subscription of just the papers, or we actually have a scrapbooking kit that has the papers as well. So these will have them in the 12 by 12 size, so you wouldn't have to cut it down. But it's honestly, I think that if you don't necessarily use the pattern as a whole 12 by 12, you can always make it work just by layering and piecing together. So that is what I did here. I used one of the fun little photo corners that we have in the kit, just to kind of accent the black, and then bump your eye kind of back in this way a little bit, and to kind of give a little definition, because that white card on top of the white cardstock, you didn't see it real well. So I added just the one corner there as a little accent. I layered the floral with one of the label die cuts, just with the place and date. And then I actually ran my whole sheet of paper through my printer. I do have a 12 by 12 printer, and then I figured out where my journaling would be, and I put that there. I wanted it the same width as the photograph, so it just kind of extends that up. And then I created the title using the foam words, and then a couple of the puffy alphas for the word my. And I feel like it creates this great kind of vertical juxtaposition against the horizontal down here. So you've got quite a bit of busy, and it's kind of heavy, but then you have all of this lightness up here. But I feel like your eye really goes to the journaling and the title, and I really like that. So it balances the heaviness and the busyness of the pattern paper by having this white space and the boldness of the title. So then the other thing I did is with the little die cuts, I just kind of bent them up so you have a little bit of dimension. And then in some of the flowers, I added the little glitter dots, and the colors match so perfect that it's subtle, but you do see it when you're looking at the layout. So there's a couple of them here, there's one there, there's a blue one there, there's one there, and then there's one in the peach and coral one here as well. The other thing I did is I raised up the photograph on a little bit of foam adhesive to also add that little bit of dimension so it's not so flat against the white cardstock. So I love how that turned out. So that's my 12 by 12. And then I started doing these, and I'm having a lot of fun with them. So these are actually pages from the Minimalist collection. They're actually planner pages. And I had done them as an experiment with the disc bound, and they're all right. Would I want to use this every day as a planner? No. So I had just kind of set it aside. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do with it. And I created this collage a couple months ago. And I was like, that is so fun. And I loved how it layered on the pages. So I've just kept doing that. So I did that again this month. And I'll just keep doing that on the front and back of the pages, and we'll just kind of see where it goes. But I like the size. The size is really fun to do. And I like being able to slip these pages in here. It's really kind of and the one thing that I do with these is I don't overthink, like trying to make sure I have a lot of embellishments, or I kind of like the idea of using what I have left over. So I do everything else. And then if I have some leftover pieces, like this was a leftover piece of paper, I didn't have a lot of it, but it fit the height. And so I just tore the edge off and I put that on there. I added the photograph with a couple of the little photo corners, just the word hello, because she's just peeking up over his shoulder, which is hilarious because they're actually in the car. I added a little bit of the black splatter on there again. I stamped the favorites from today, added my journaling, and then just the date and that on the little die cut. And that's it. So super simple, but the colors, again, they were the neutral. They went really, really well with this page. And I think it worked out great. And the other thing I wanted to mention, so if you use a disc bound system like this, there is a punch. I was cleaning my craft room and I found this and I was pretty thrilled. So I thought I would share it. So it has that little punch so that if, like for instance here where I had already punched it and then I laid the pattern paper over and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to line that up and punch it right again. Well, with this, I was able to do that. I was able to figure it out and use this and just re-punch it, which worked out really, really well. Or if I want to add not a full page, if I want to just add a piece in here, I can use that punch as well. And this is from We Are Memory Keepers. So it has that disc bound. You could probably use that for spiral bound as well. So that is the little layout that I did. And so that is about an A5 size. And then I also did a spread for in March in my daisy planner. So if you're familiar, I did a video, make sure you check it out on YouTube, where I walk through how I have set everything up in my Daisy Planner and how much I love using it for memory planning. And I like to do an example, if not every month, maybe every other or so, just to kind of show you how to use that product in the Modern Memory Keeping Kit in your Daisy Planner, or if you have a Happy Planner, if you do any kind of memory planning at all, how well that works. And we have something new also in the kit this month, and it is there's a Daisy Planner sticker sheet in here, and these are designed to work with these spaces. So you can see where I used one here. You could use the one without any quote on it. That's just a pattern. You could use it in the Saturday and Sunday. Anytime I try to have a photo every day. If I can't do a photo every day, then sometimes I will put pattern paper, and I love the option of just having a sticker to put in there, or and then you have the label stickers, which are always handy as well. So I did that. I added some rub-ons on here. These are rub-ons here. Some of the chipboard, a few die cuts, some of the foam words, and then there's another piece of chipboard. I didn't add a whole lot more yet. I want to wait and see where my photos lay and how all that, and then I'll go back in and add more, some of the puffy letters for some titles, maybe some more of the rub-ons and so on. So that's just kind of a base. It's nice to kind of have that base done already, but I also wanted to show you how this new edition works. So let me know in the comments below if you like this idea. It's something new we're just going to try out, and I'd love your feedback on that. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, please let me know, and I will get back to you on anything that I can. And as always, make sure you hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps us get the word out about Cocoa Daisy, and we very, very much appreciate it. And I hope that you have been inspired and gotten some ideas on how to use your Modern Memory Keeping Kit.